Morning students, today we have chapter 8, references and quotations. You know that academic writing depends on the research and the ideas of others, so it is vital to show which sources you have used in your academic work or in your work in an acceptable manner. There are a number of issues that will be dealt with in this unit. We will talk about the format of in-text citations, the main reference systems, the use of quotations, and the layout of list of references. Let us start with the first topic. Why do we use references? When we write, we usually use a number of resources, a number of references, and there are three major reasons why we have to provide the references and the citations. Number one, to show that you have read some of the authorities on the subject, which will give a sort of or add a sort of weight and importance to your work. Number two, it will allow the reader of your work to find the source if she wishes to examine the topic in more detail later on after finishing reading your paper, and in order to avoid plagiarism, and this is what we had in previous lectures. Now look at your books on page 63. Here I want you to work this with me now. Decide if you need to give a reference in the following cases. Here we have a number of cases from A to F, and each case is different from the other. If you read them one after one, we will decide which one needs a reference. Here in A, data you found from your own primary research. Yes, we need a reference. A graph from an internet article. If you get something from internet article, yes, we need the reference. A quotation from a book. Also, yes, we need. An item of common knowledge. To me, yes, we need. A theory from a journal article. You take a theory from an article. Yes, we need. An idea of your own based on reading several sources. The idea is yours, but you took the idea from a number of resources. Yes, also in this case we need. Now we come to citations and references. You know, it is important, very important, to refer correctly to the work of the writers that you are consulting or that you are relying on. And if you consult a source or a reference, there are three main ways in order to get benefit from these books. Either you summarize, you paraphrase, or you quote. You know that we talked about summary and paraphrase and quotations in previous lectures, and in each case a citation is included to provide a link to the reference or to the list of references at the end of your book. Now look at this example in red. We will discuss it together. Smith 2009 argues, claims, state, or any reference book. It's up to you. Any reference, verb that you can use, that the popularity of sports utility vehicle is rational, as despite their high cost, most are never driven off road. Look at this example. Here, what do we have? Do we have a summary? Do we have a quotation, or what? Yes, we have both. We have a summary and we have a quotation. A summary is seen by the use of Smith 2009 and by the use of the reference verb. Since we have a name, we have a date, and we have a reference verb, then we have what we call summary. A quotation, on the other hand, can be found, can be noticed, can be felt once we have the exact word of the writer used in single quotation marks. Okay, so in his view, they are bad for road safety, the environment, road congestion, between single quotation marks. This is we call a quotation, and here we have the reference or the citation, Smith 2009, page 37 between brackets. So this is what we call in-text citation, when we cite the reference in while we are explaining in the body of the text. In the reference list, we have to refer to the reference in full. How? Look at it. At the end, Smith, comma, M, capital M, which means the capital letter of the second name, abbreviated, 2009, the date, power and the state. This is the title of the book. Then we have the city, and we have the publishing company or the publishing house. Okay. Now we come to reference systems. In reference system, there are various systems of referencing in the use of the academic world. So, students should ask their teachers if they are not sure which system they have to use in their writing. With any system you use, the most important points to be taken into consideration is to be consistent. Being consistent means that if you follow a specific citation system, you have to follow it till the end of your paper. Don't jump from one citation system to the other. According to this book, we have three citation systems or reference systems. We have the Harvard system, the Vancouver system, the footnote system, or the endnote system. The Harvard system, it is generally used by students of English and by schools of business, which means it is used by schools of humanities. In this case, the reference is written in the following way. The name of the last writer is the second writer, followed by the name of the first writer, abbreviated M, then the year, the title of the book, the city, and the publishing company. Number 2, the Vancouver system. It is widely used by the students in medicine and science schools, which means schools of science. And here numbers in brackets are inserted after the citation, and these link to a numbered list of references. The reference in the body in the text appears as, for example, Chazanov 5 makes the point that the risk of cross-infection is growing. Here the writer is followed by a number. The same number appears in the reference list. Okay, so in the reference list you can find it as number 5, then Chazanov, the writer, followed by a comma, and the first letter of the first name abbreviated. The first name is abbreviated, then the title of the book, the city, the publisher, and the year. As for the third type, the footnote system, also known as the endnotes, it is commonly used in the humanities, in which the sources are listed at the bottom of the page, or they are organized or appear at the end of the paper. The number in the superscript run consecutively throughout the paper. For example, if you have this example, the effects of French Revolution were felt throughout Europe, number 3. This number 3 is an indication to this reference, and this number either appears at the end of the page, which is called footnote, or it appears at the end of the paper, which is called the endnote. In both cases, in the endnote or the footnote, the reference appears as follows: 3, the same number, then we have Karl Waldesky, which means the first name, the second name, the title of the book or the article, then we have the city, the publisher, the year, followed by comma, and the page number, which means I'm quoting or I'm taking or giving or taking the information from this page. Now we come to using quotations. Using quotations means bringing the original words of a writer in our work, exactly. And quotations are effective in some situations. We cannot rely on quotations every now and then whenever we write. We only use quotations in 3 different areas. Number 1, when the original words express an idea in a distinctive way, or when the original work is more concise than our summary, and when the original version is well known. Okay, so here we have an example. I just want you to look at it. The view is widely shared, as Friedman stated. Then we have a quotation. Here, if I want to divide this statement, I can say that the first part of it, this view is widely shared, we call it the introductory phrase. Then Friedman is the author. Then the word stated is the reference verb. Then the quotation from the first single and the last single quotation mark This is what we call quotation, and the citation is between brackets, 1974, page 93. Okay, here and you have something in red, only one form. Inside the quotation, it is possible to insert some words for clarification, and these words or this word or these words for clarification can be used between two square brackets. Okay, there are a number of points should be taken into consideration when we use quotations. Number one, or A, when the quotation is 2 to 3 lines, yes, they can be used with an inverted quotation mark. This is a quotation mark. But when the quotation is very big, it cannot be used with quotation marks, but it can be indented and it can be written in a specific way. In this case, the quotation marks are not needed. Also, page numbers should be given after the date. Okay, and we have to pay attention that sometimes it is possible to delete some of the quotation, some irrelevant points or information by using 3 dots. So I can remove some of the information and instead I can use 3 dots. And the last one, I can, if I need some necessary information, I can insert a word or a few words between square brackets. Now let us have a sort of practice concerning this, the previous information. Now look at your books on page 66 and follow with me. Here you have a passage, a short passage taken from a book, and students are required, or the author of the book tells us how we can make this use of this short text by getting the summary, the quotation, summary, and the quotation. Look at your books on page 67. What do you have? You have a summary, and the summary is introduced by using the name of the writer, Hoffman, 2009. Then I summarize the passage. In B, I have a quotation. First of all, I say, according to Hoffman, for example, I introduce something, then I use the quotation by using single quotation marks, and then I write the year and the page number. Sometimes I need a summary and a quotation at the same time. I start by saying Hoffman points, and then I say the quotation, and then between two single quotation marks, and then finally I write the year and the page number. Okay. This is actually similar to the exercise or to the assignment that I gave you in the last week. Now we come to abbreviations and citations. Sometimes in citations there are a number of abbreviations that are used by scholars to save time and effort. We can say that there are 3 main ones: etal, ibid, and opsit. Etal means it is normally used when there are 3 or more authors. There is no need to write the full name of the authors. We usually write in the in-text citation, in the body, I write the name of the first author, followed by the word etal, which means and the others, وآخرون, then the year and the page number. The second one, we have ibid, taken from the same source. It is taken from the same source, the same page, so there is no need to repeat the citation again or the reference again. I just write ibid and I understand that I'm repeating the same reference above. The third one is opsit, also is taken from the same source, but a different page. Also there is no need to mention the citation again. I just add the page number. Now, organizing the references. How do I organize the references? The references are to be organized according to the system that I'm using. We said that we have 3 systems. We have Harvard system, Vancouver system, the endnote system, or the footnote system. According to the system, I have to arrange my the books that I have already consulted, and there are a few points I just wanted to take into consideration here, students. If you look at the names of the authors on the title page of the book, go back, just close your books and go to the title page. You will find the Academic Writing, a handbook for international students, written by Stephen Bailey. Here the name appears as first name, second name, which means that the original name, or the name is the name used on the title page, is used in the normal formats. The first name, the second name. When it comes to referencing, how do I write the name in the reference list? Here the idea is not the same. First of all, I have to start with the last name, and followed by the first name abbreviated, or just the initial. Okay, here you have, for example, Belford 2001, and we have Gonzalez 1997. This is in the text, in text. Okay, so I rely on the last name only. Okay, when I have in the reference list, we use the family name and the initials. As you see here, I have Belford S, then we have Gonzalez's J. This is in the reference list, as I mentioned before a while. Okay, now we come to references. You know that all the references that the researcher uses in his paper should be arranged alphabetically at the end of the paper in the reference list. If I cancel the reference list, I'll find all the references that I use, all the citations I used in my paper are to be cited or to be written here, and these references should be arranged alphabetically from A to Z, and there are a number of points, a number of procedures that should be taken into consideration in order to come up with an organized list of references. I'll explain this in more detail in a subsequent presentation. Thank you for your listening.